This conference will now be
Hey,
recorded.
everybody. This is Dr. Doug Smith. It is Monday at 2:30. It is time to start the week with our Monday through Thursday 2:30 podcast. This is a podcast where you will hear the science about what actually happened in this opioid crisis. Real excited to be getting the book ready. Can't wait to see what you guys think about the book and your reaction to it. Working on the edits for Chapter 5 right now. Chapter 5 has been the hardest chapter to edit. 9 was the hardest to write, but 5 has been the hardest to edit. Um, and what's on the screen in front of you right now is one of the excerpts from Chapter 5. This is from the DEA 2002, and for those of you who became genetically damaged by the opioids, and you found out how well buprenorphine worked, at some point you may have wondered, why is buprenorphine so hard to get access to? Buprenorphine makes me as normal as I can possibly be. I'm not going to go so far as to say buprenorphine makes people completely normal, but it makes them as normal as they can be at this point. So why in the world would buprenorphine be hard to get? Okay, and it all comes down to the law. And in the book, we make the point about how laws have at different points in time have damaged people. Okay, the African slave trade was completely legal. The laws allowed it. The massacre and genocide of the Native American Indians was completely legal. The law allowed it. The Jewish Holocaust in Nazi Germany, Hitler made that legal. And this law we're talking about right here, the name of the law is DATA 2000, Drug Addiction Treatment Act of 2000, was another episode, another example of where the law allowed a vulnerable group of people to be damaged, harmed. And what this law did was it made access to buprenorphine very difficult. And the way it made access to buprenorphine very difficult is something that's never happened before, and hopefully it'll never happen again. And that is, it said to physicians, people like myself, hey, if you want to prescribe buprenorphine to treat this group of people, you're going to have to take an extra course. And it was a rough course. I mean, it was a serious course. Okay, and a lot of people just said that's not worth it. And so that's severely limited the number of people who could write for buprenorphine. And then if you did take the course, they had a little caveat there that said, oh, if you take the course, then you agree the DEA can come and inspect your office unannounced at any point in time. And that was a real turnoff for a lot of people. And it was meant to be. It was meant to discourage people from getting involved with buprenorphine. And then even if you did get involved with buprenorphine, you were limited to 25 patients your first year, 25 at a time. And so most people just said, you know what, it's not worth it. And so access to buprenorphine became extremely difficult. And you may wonder why. Why in the world would anybody want to make access to buprenorphine difficult? And the answer is right there on the screen in front of you. It comes down to money. And this is a hard quote to find. Okay, we're probably the only group that's even aware of this quote. Okay, and what this is from a DEA hearing in the year 2000. And it was for the hearings for the purpose of rescheduling buprenorphine, turning it from a 5 into a 3. And it turns out, most people were heavily in favor of that, but there was one group that was really opposed to buprenorphine, did not want buprenorphine available. And guess who it was? It was the methadone clinics. The methadone clinics are known otherwise as the opioid treatment programs, OTP. And so let's read this little quote together. Okay, J, placement of buprenorphine in Schedule 3 to make it available for office-based care will have a significant impact on opioid treatment programs. The DEA is required to analyze this issue and follow the mandate of the Regulatory Flexibility Act. Placement of buprenorphine in Schedule 3 to make it available for office-based care will have a significant impact on opioid treatment programs. In other words, it's going to cut into their money. That's what this means. It's going to cut into their money. Okay, these are the methadone clinics, opioid treatment programs. Those are the methadone clinics. And the methadone clinics wanted buprenorphine wiped off the face of the earth, Okay. Well, actually, what they really wanted, they wanted it rescheduled into a Schedule 2 so that only the methadone clinics had access to buprenorphine. If you wanted buprenorphine, you had to go to the methadone clinic. That's what this is. That's what this request is right here. Okay. That's what the methadone clinics wanted. Okay. They wanted the money. Okay. For those of you who've been to a methadone clinic, you know how it works. You walk in every day. You pay $10 to $18 every day. Okay. You get a little cup of methadone every day. You know, really high dose, so that they got you hooked in and steady income. Okay. You can get buprenorphine, tends to be more expensive. You got to go in every day for dosing. Okay, every single day, go in to take a pill of buprenorphine. That's what the methadone clinics wanted you to do because they wanted the money. Okay, and this is a lot of what the book is going through. Why do people get screwed over? Okay, it comes down to the same thing, time after time after time after time. Money, money, money. Okay, the methadone clinics wanted the money. Now, we're hoping that we can motivate people to file lawsuits against the methadone clinics. We want to see justice. Okay, and denying access to buprenorphine killed a lot of people. Denying access to buprenorphine killed a lot of people. And we want to see the methadone clinics held to justice. Okay, and the way we want to see the methadone clinics held to justice is, hey, they didn't warn anybody about the genetic damage from methadone. And this genetic damage has been known since 2009. Okay, so we're over 15 years we've known about the genetic damage. Okay, so the methadone clinics had the responsibility to warn you about the genetic damage from the methadone, and they didn't warn anybody. Okay, they never warned anybody. Okay, failure to warn. So there you go, failure to warn. Okay, so for those of you who went to the methadone clinics and you took the methadone, okay, methadone, my guess, we don't really know yet, but my guess is it's going to be horrendous as far as causing more genetic damage. Okay, because that's just the nature of methadone. Okay, so we're very hopeful that the methadone clinics are going to see a lot of lawsuits, and they should. And they should. And that would be justice for what they did for limiting access. Okay, they ended up severely limiting access to buprenorphine, and they did it through a law called ADDICT 2000, and we review that in chapter 5 of the book. All right, we'll hold here for today. Alex and I have got to get an email out. Thank you to all of you who have reached out to me saying, "Hey, I haven't gotten an email from you in a while," and you're right, and I accept responsibility for that. Tend to get a little focused, a little overly focused. Alex and I got the submission completed to the FDA. In getting the submission completed to the FDA, I fell behind on editing the book, and I take responsibility for why I haven't put out an email. Alex and I will get an email out either today or tomorrow. And I am going to get caught up on editing this book. The book is scheduled to be available for you to read, have in your hand and read it first week in December. I mean, we're running out of time here. I gotta finish my edits, and I will. But I'm working on it hard. I'm not taking my time. I'm just putting a lot of work into it because I want it to be a book that means something to people. Okay, our people have been screwed over left and right. Everybody screwed our people over. Okay, I don't want to screw our people over. I want to write a book that's has clarity, is meaningful, and they can read the book and have a better understanding of what happened to them and who screwed them over. Okay, and it's things like what you're looking at on the screen in front of you. All right, we'll hold here for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to us. Don't forget to post this on your social media, everybody else's social media. Let's get the word out. Everybody have a great afternoon, and we will see you back tomorrow. Bye-bye.